Hi, thank you for tuning in to this message about narcissistic friends and specifically why non Black women are probably not your friends. I had an experience today with a white woman that got me to thinking about something that I've been meaning to talk to you about anyway. So, in this video, I'm going to share that experience with you. We're going to talk about why non Black women are probably not your friends. We're also going to review 10 signs of a narcissistic friend, and then I'm going to tell you what it all has to do with your narcissistic mother. So, if you're new here, hi, I'm Dani Ellison. I'm a reparenting coach and an Acudetox specialist for Black women. I help them recover from maternal narcissistic abuse and childhood based PTSD. So, let's get into it. What happened today? So, I went out to my local coffee shop that I've been going to on and off for the last 10 years or so. It's my favorite place in Phoenix to go hang out and get work done. But somewhere along the way, I stopped going as often as I would because I moved away from Phoenix, but also because the staff there, who is very white, by the way, this is a predominantly white establishment, like 85 to 95% of the staff and patrons are white, non Black, but white. The staff has a habit of playing music that includes the N word, and it makes me very uncomfortable. If it were a Black owned establishment full of Black people, I wouldn't have an issue. It would be a completely different situation. But because I'm usually the only or one of very few Black people in the room while the N word is ringing on the speakers all day, every day, like for hours at a time, it makes me very uncomfortable. It feels oppressive. And I find myself in the same position that you're in when you're being faced with a narcissist and the way that they want to treat you. I had a decision to make. So I'm either going to sit here and overwork my nervous system, trying to block this out, trying to block out how angry it's making me, trying to block out how badly it's hurting my feelings that all these white people are just silently banding together to co-sign the blatant use of the N word in this public place with no regard for how it is making me feel, or leave and miss out on the opportunity to enjoy this space that I should be able to come and enjoy just like everyone else. So either accept the subjugation, or third option is to say something, is to go choose my battle and go fight for equality, for my humanity, for some respect. So in the past, I've done all three of those things. I sat there and put on headphones and turned my music up as loud as I could to try to block it out. I've stopped going altogether. I just got up out of my seat and left early, earlier than I would if I were comfortable. Um, and I have said something in the past, but I had some free time this week, so I've been there a few times. And the other day I said something to the owner, who's a white man, and he did great business. I mean, as far as acknowledging what I was saying to him, he apologized, he offered me a gift card, thanked me for coming in, encouraged me to keep coming in and let me know that he wants me to be there, and changed the music so I didn't hear the N word again while I was there. But I went in today and it was, same old same. So I said, okay, I'm not going to sit here and be oppressed. It's bothering me. I'm going to go say something. So I go to the young white woman who is actually, no, first I spoke to a young man, a non Black man, and asked if he could change the music. He said, oh, you got to talk to her, the white woman at the cashier, you got to talk to her, the white woman at the cash register. So I go over to her and I say, hey, could you please change the music so that the N word is not playing? She says to me, oh, yeah, I'll see what I can do about it. 2 songs later, nothing has changed. The N word is still blasting every 30 seconds or so. So I go back and I asked the young Black man who works there, hey, could you help me out with the music? The lyrics are making me uncomfortable. He proceeds to tell me that they're allowed to play whatever they want. Here she comes to back him up and tells me that the owner's really chill and he just lets them play whatever they want. And, it's not a big deal. There's nothing she can do. When we both know all you have to do is go change the playlist. Of course, there's something you can do. So I tell her, I was just in here. The owner apologized for this very thing and gave me a gift card for it the other day. That's why I'm back in here today to spend the gift card. So I don't understand what you mean when you say there's nothing you can do when I know there's something you can do. And she says, well, he's okay with us playing whatever we want. And I said, is he okay with you disrespecting Black people? Because I'm asking you directly to your face, human to human, to please change this music. Not even, I'll overlook the genre and all that. All the other language is specifically the N word. I'm not asking you to play a different song. Play the clean version if that's what you really want to listen to. I understand that, employees want to hear, they're the ones who have to get through the shift. I get it. So, and then there's a temptation there for guilt to kick in. Like, I don't want to be a ball buster. I don't want to come across like I'm problematic, right? Because I'm the Black woman with the problem and everything is chill if I don't say anything. But there I am again, being somebody's scapegoat. When I know damn well that it is not appropriate for this room full of white people to be having the N word going off every 30 seconds. It's hurtful and it's disrespectful. I should be able to come in and enjoy this public space. Not to mention there are kids that come in there. So you have these white kids listening to the N word every 30 seconds. What are you? Okay. Okay. So then she says, oh no, we respect everybody, while blatantly dismissing my feelings, while gaslighting me to tell me there's nothing she can do about it, then tells me that I can go talk to the manager. I asked if he was still there. She said, yeah, he's still here. You can go talk to him. So instead of honoring my feelings, I just looked you in your eye and told you that my great great grandmother was a slave. And it hurts me to sit here while I'm trying to do my work in a room full of white people and hear the N word going off left and right. Could you please change it? And you have something to say other than, sure, okay, yeah, let me go fix that. I'm sorry. So now I have to go fight for equality with someone else when you could just change the playlist. So I go talk to the manager, a white man. He did his job as a manager, and he did his job as the manager. He changed the music. He was chill. We had a friendly exchange. But what he slipped in there was that the owner feels that this is his culture too. Yet again, another gaslight, because the owner is a white man. And no matter how inclined you may feel to Black culture, you're white and it's not your culture. It's not your culture too. And for you to appropriate it, use it in a way that is hurtful to Black people, and then tell me how much you love and respect Black people is oppression. You're working the same maneuver as your wicked ancestor. And then you want me to not say anything about it. So main takeaway was really, it's time to get out of the US, because this is daily life. If I'm not even safe at my local coffee shop because of the N word in 2024, I have to advocate. You are going to advocate to me as a young white woman to my face for your right to blast a racial slur in a public place when I'm telling you that it's offensive to me directly. And then in the same breath, tell me that you respect Black people. This is not a safe environment. But okay, we already knew that. God willing, I will be on my way out of the country ASAP. So we'll stay tuned. Yeah, so that was the experience that I had. In my recent work, I have outlined 5 spheres of our lives in which we experience narcissistic abuse. The first being home, followed by our peers, work, church, and love. So I have already done some other videos that you should definitely go watch. about church and about work. And today we're going to talk about the peer sphere in regard to your narcissistic friends and what it has to do with being raised by a narcissistic parent. But I really do want to drive the point home that if you are a Black woman specifically, which you should be because my videos are for Black women, non-Black women and Black males in parentheses, but that's not what this video is about, are not your friends. They have a high likelihood of being fake friends simply because they cannot match your energy, regardless of whether they are a white woman who has more money, education, access, beauty, experience, whatever. If she is easily perceived as being better than you and you guys are friends, she will spend your entire friendship subtly reminding you, subconsciously projecting onto you her belief that you are less than her. So unless they have some skin in the game as a disruptor of culture, as a dissenter from white privilege, they can't be your friend because they are actively abusing you. At the least, they are enabling the abuse by staying silent when they see it, when they're aware of it, by gaslighting you out of it so that they don't have to be accountable for it. In my journey going no contact, I've learned that our feelings tend to get hurt when we have to cut off the enabler too. We can wrap our minds around the idea of no contact with the active abuser, but when we set boundaries and commit to respecting ourselves, and that brings us to being at odds with an enabler that we're still emotionally attached to, someone that we still are telling ourselves a fantasy about and still have the wool pulled over our eyes about, then we have to suffer a second ego death all over again. It's a second disillusionment because we have to be honest with ourselves in order to maintain that self-respect and keep it real with our inner child. We have to see the enabler for the secondary abuser that they are. And we have to realize that we deserve better than to be emotionally attached to someone who's going to silently stand by and watch us be abused. Someone who's going to see the system operating against us and keep their mouth shut because it benefits them. And I will say, this is in general. Obviously, I'm not talking about every non-Black woman. There are non-Black women who are good in heart and spirit and maybe are your friends, but they're women who stand up for what is right, not what is beneficial to them. A white woman who loves Black people doesn't advocate for her right to a racial slur that her ancestors used to brutally dehumanize the same people. It's not happening. The reason why non-Black women and Black men, in parentheses, because that's not what this video is about, are highly likely to be fake friends in your circle is because their privilege in the world is based on oppressing you. For Black men, you're the only demographic that they have perceived leverage over. For non-Black women, you are the direct opponent because you're not like them, but you're a woman. And the reason why the people in your circle are probably narcissists is because they're attracted to your light, to your goodness. They're attracted to all that they see about you that is quality, and they hate you for it secretly. They want to take it away from you. They're jealous and resentful when you show up to challenge their perception that they're better than you. Because society has given them privilege over you, in their relationship with you, they're simply seeking to exercise that privilege. It's the only way that they can feel powerful, especially when you show up and shatter the idea that they are superior to you. So when you're both female, but you're Black, so you have greater spiritual power, you have more soul, you have more versatility because of adversity. You're more educated because you have a motivation to educate yourself and vindicate your people. You have a cause. You have a spiritual inheritance that they lack, a power that they lack. They seek to humble you to reestablish equilibrium for their ego. So, what that looks like as we get into our 10 signs of your fake narcissistic friends, what that looks like is suddenly lashing out to attack you verbally. So, these attacks seem to come out of nowhere because they're sending hate to you that you have not sent to them. It just comes out of nowhere. They go from faking nice to suddenly attacking you, and you find out in a moment that they had some negative, harsh judgment about you that they never shared. They didn't share it in the moment. They faked nice in the moment, but now they're suddenly attacking you, probably in front of an audience. Um, this also manifests as passive aggression, hateful comments that are passive aggressive. Excuse me, hateful comments that are passive aggressive. So this is one way that they steal from you because they will make a comment that will cause you to pause, internalize the comment, break it down, add the 4, carry the 1, multiply, divide by 9, only to find that it breaks down to hate. Nothing in the comment was real, meaningful, valuable, true. It was just hate that they wanted to exchange. They simply wanted to exchange hate with you. So they wrapped it in passive aggression and a semblance of sweet words that they can deny later if you try to hold them accountable for what they really meant. This is the same playbook as your narcissistic parent if you're not picking up on it already. The third way that you can identify a narcissistic friend is you become aware that they are silently competing with you. This is likely to be your non-Black female friend who has less financial stability than you, who maybe grew up poorer than you, who has less education, maybe less beauty, less culture, is less traveled, whatever. You appear to have a leg up on her in every way. She is going to silently compete with you. She's going to look for ways to one up you that you're not even thinking about because you are living your life in your own little world. You feel secure in yourself. You don't see her as competition because she's not your competition, but she feels threatened and will seek opportunities to prove that she's better than you, that you're not as good or smart or whatever as you say you are. And ultimately, she wants to challenge your confidence because it's the only way that she can beat you is if she can get you to doubt yourself and dim your own light. That's the only play that she has. A fourth way that you can identify a narcissistic friend is that they try to come in and out of your life without apologizing for whatever shitty thing they did when you guys stopped talking. Okay, as a narcissist, they are not going to straight up take responsibility for what they did, have an open, vulnerable conversation, admit fault, apologize, and then agree to move forward differently and then demonstrate change. That's not going to happen. Okay, now in a friendship with someone who genuinely cares about you, occasionally communication may break down. You may separate and need to come back together. And if so, that's what that process looks like. But a fake narcissistic friend will just try to let things die down and then come back hoping that you forgot about it or you're somehow desperate for their validation, and you will just let them back in, have no boundaries, have no self-respect, and they don't have to take any accountability or make any changes. They're not your friend. A fifth way that you can identify a narcissistic friend is they're upset by the favor that you have on your life and they never celebrate your wins. Not genuinely. They usually, when you celebrate something, especially small wins, because in the face of a big win, they probably feel they have to fake being happy for you. But small wins are the ones that you will say, oh, hey, a small win, for example, you might say, oh, hey, I sold a painting on eBay. It was the first of my collection that I sold. And instead of celebrating and saying, oh my gosh, wow, that's great. That's the beginning of a landslide of sales for you. That's awesome. They'll say, well, how much did you sell it for? Oh, only $25. That's not your friend. They do not want you to acknowledge within yourself your own value, because they know that you're going to surpass them and they will have no way to continue to compete with you. So they feel that they are spiritually and emotionally in a deficit to you. So they're not going to give you a compliment. They're not going to affirm you, which, by the way, is one of the 5 languages of love. They're not going to affirm you, because if you feel loved, then you will continue to function at peace. And that's not what they want for you, because that's not your friend. That is not your friend. A sixth way that you can identify a fake narcissistic friend, and they come in all shapes, sizes, and colors, but this one I think is primarily for your non-Black female friends, is fake admiration and curiosity. Okay, they will put on the mask of a sweet, gentle, doe-eyed thing to get close to you, find out all about you, how you do what you do, whatever it is that they're jealous about, and pillage it, take it back to their community, turn on you, and then pass it off as their own. Same playbook as their wicked ancestors. So when they see you do your thing and then they come and they're so enamored with you and they just want to talk about it and ask you questions and find out, yeah, they're not your friend. They're not your friend. A seventh way that you can identify a fake narcissistic friend, and this is for all kinds, not specific to your non-Black female friends. A seventh way that you can identify a fake narcissistic friend, just like with any narcissist, is they will triangulate you with others in the friend group. So again, this is going to feel like an ambush. You're all hanging out. Especially with your non-Black female friends, this tends to follow a bonding session that you guys had one-on-one. Okay, you could be up until 3 a.m. braiding each other's hair, crying about your periods, and singing Kumbaya. When they get back around their people, they're going to betray you. They're going to grieve the spirit and defy God by doing the forbidden, which is to take all the precious energy that you gave them, all that genuine love that you gave them when you were hanging out one-on-one, and they're going to drive it into the ground. They're going to curse you. They're going to speak wicked things over you. They're going to attack you. They're going to attack you with their words. They're going to click up and crucify you with their words. Yeah. And so then the next time you see them, especially if the people that they were crucifying you with are other fake friends, then you are going to be pit against someone. You are going to be faced with the narcissistic friend and the flying monkey that they're using to triangulate against you, and you're going to feel attacked. You're going to feel teamed up on. Another way that this can play out is the narcissist will go and rile someone up against you, and then that person is coming at you with all the hateful rage that the narcissist feels for you, but for some deceitful, convoluted reason that's not based in truth or reality, but achieves the narcissist's goal of expressing their hateful feelings toward you. They just didn't have to do it directly. They used that third person to do it. That way, they don't have to be accountable for it. And they gain distance from it by projecting it onto others. Not your friend. An eighth way that you can identify a fake narcissistic friend is that they seek to humiliate you in front of an audience. This is not specific to your non-Black female friends, but it's definitely a behavior to watch out for. It's highly likely when you are surrounded by non-Black women. Any opportunity they can create to humiliate you makes them feel powerful. And again, they're around you not to befriend you, not because they have any genuine love to give you, but because they want to take from you, and then they want to kill your energy so that they can claim it for their own. So they're ultimately there to destroy you. So any opportunity they can create to humiliate you in front of others, they believe is going to break down your confidence and make it that much easier to swindle you out of your energy, because now they can go fill up the energetic space that you were holding because they shamed you out of it. A ninth way to identify a narcissistic friend is they will purposely exclude you. And once again, this is the same playbook as any other narcissist. This is probably ringing bells and overlapping with your narcissistic parent because they did the same thing. When a narcissist is purposely excluding you, they will make sure you know that they are excluding you, because it's not about excluding you, it's about hurting you by excluding you. So they want to create isolation and outcast in your own mind so that you feel less than and broken down, meek and sheepish. You're more receptive to their abuse. You're easier to control and a better victim. A 10th way that you can identify your narcissistic friends is that they will use what you share against you. And again, I know your narcissistic mother did this one. Anything that you confide to a narcissistic friend is coming back at you one way or another. Either they're going to use it against you in a moment of vulnerability, or they're going to share it with someone else, and then you're going to find out that what you thought you were sharing with your friend has been coffee talk. You're going to find out that what you thought you were sharing with your friend in confidence has become the talk of the town behind your back, and they're the ones responsible for it. A bonus, 11th way that you can identify your narcissistic friends, and this is specific to your non-Black female friends, is they will mock your individuality and your creativity. A bonus, 11th way that you can identify a narcissistic friend is they will mock your individuality and your creativity. Keep in mind that as a narcissist, they hate you. So they're not your friend. They're not around you because they have a genuine love or mutual respect for you. They're there to tear you down so they can feel at peace in the world because you are a perceived threat to them. So any individuality or creativity you display unsettles them. They can't control that. They can't match it. They can't duplicate it. They can't replicate it. They can't preempt it. So they're going to try to shame you out of engaging with it. I think we as Black women see this play out in culture with non-Black women when it comes to things like Black hairstyles, the Black girl aesthetic, Black girl jewelry, Black girl makeup, right? If you go back a mere 10, 15, 20 years in time, not just white America, but Black men as well, commandeered by the white man, were collectively and openly talking down on anything that was specifically associated with Black women. up and until it became accessible to non-Black women, until the BBL came along, until Carrie Bradshaw was wearing ghetto gold for fun. Then it was okay for non-Black women to dip in and dabble in Black culture, but just as an aesthetic, right? To take the culture but leave the people. So again, just like any colonizer, their goal is to separate you from what belongs to you so they can claim it for their own. So the sooner they can break down your confidence in your individuality and in your creativity, the sooner they can try to mix it up, the sooner they can rename it sticky bangs and claim it for themselves. My last and final word, specifically about non-Black women in your life, is they are going to be especially resentful of your spiritual power. So if you are a Black sheep, a chosen one, a scapegoat, then you are also very likely to be favored by God, to be set apart, to be observably anointed. And when they see your favor, when they see the authority with which you pray, when they see your ability to speak life and to heal with your loving energy, when they perceive the strength that you have to survive, to go within and overcome and persevere, they are going to be left feeling powerless because they can never approach it. They can never hope to replicate what is authentic to your energy as a Black woman. So keep that in mind if you are some sort of a healer, some sort of a light worker, if you are in ministry, for example, consider limiting your interactions with non-Black women, because although you may have unconditional love for them and the kindest intention to help them, the fact that you're able to help them may just piss them off and cause them to attack you. So keep that in mind. And finally, you probably guessed it by now, but what does this have to do with your narcissistic mother? If you have been raised by a narcissistic mother, you were conditioned to accept all these behaviors a long time ago. Having your boundaries, your personal respect, your dignity, your humanity disregarded was taught to you early on. So when your fake non-Black friends show up faking nice, hiding a whole devil behind some blue eyes and blonde hair, whatever it is, some light skin and some straight hair, you are preconditioned to not only stay in the relationship after the red flags start popping up, but to freeze in a trauma response or question why your friends are mistreating you and potentially believe that it is because of you, that it is somehow your fault, that you played into it, that maybe you said the wrong thing or did the wrong thing or didn't do this or shouldn't have done that or whatever. So these emotional predators and narcissistic abusers are primed to take advantage of that conditioning. It's what they look for in their emotional supply. And you, as a Black woman with all your positive, genuine, loving, divine energy, with no boundaries, with no awareness of your worth, with no empowerment to speak up, with an entire system, with an entire world weaponized against you, you are so vulnerable to the attacks of non-Black women because they can get close to you under the guise of we're all in it together, we're all feminists, we're all women, girl power, then take from you and take it back to their communities and ice you out like everyone else. So if you are a Black woman who is tolerating this kind of behavior in your friendships, I highly recommend that you take a closer look at your home sphere of life and start to do some digging and exploring of your traumatic experiences in early childhood, particularly around your parents. If you are a Black woman who would like support unpacking the trauma of your childhood, I invite you to join me, as well as other Black women who are processing traumatic stress, in my weekly Acudetox group. I will link the information in the description below so you can learn more about Acudetox and sign up for a group today. This is an opportunity for you to work collectively with Black women with similar stories who are detoxing traumatic stress so that they can live their best life. So don't miss out on this opportunity to work with Black women and change the way that we process traumatic stress. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications. Also, enable your notifications so that you actually get them when I go live and so you don't miss an opportunity to tune in. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Dani Ellison, and I hope this helps.